Hello guys, and welcome to David Zimaleta. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use your iCar software CR Plus or MB2 version to run diagnostics on your Sprinter. This is going to be a separate video how to actually use the iCar software diagnostic tool. I have CR Plus, how to scan newer vehicles like 2010s and up, for instance. This is a Mercedes Sprinter vehicle. It is badged as Freightliner, but nevertheless, it is a Sprinter van. It is made by Mercedes. So actually, the very first thing you want to do is plug in your OBD2 device. And for some of you that just bought this van, here's a OBD2 where it's located. You're gonna need to drop this down, and it's located right there. So I would like to be thorough as possible on this scan. All right, the very next thing you want to do is go ahead and actually turn this key twice to the on position till you see all of those things light up on your dash. Some of them will actually just light up and actually go away. So the very next thing you want to do is you want to remove it from this to here. You want to move it to scan. So we're gonna go to scan, gonna hit OK. Now you have all of these different cars. So what we want to do is we want to go down till we see Sprinter. So here we have Mercedes Sprinter. We'll click that OK. I have an updated version, so I'm gonna select version 11.21. If you haven't updated yours, you're probably gonna have version 11.20, or maybe even newer version than mine. So just select what the newer version is, hit OK. So here's the Sprinter. It also scans other vans as well. We don't have them in the States, but if you are watching this in Europe or something, here's the Vito vans that you guys have, and the Neo, you know, all of these vans, they are here. So they're also in the Sprinter bodies, I guess, but badged differently. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually hit Sprinter. Hit OK. Now you're gonna have some options here. Here's a 901, which goes to 901.6. This is the older body style. This is from, 2001 through 2006. I'm looking at this here and thinking about two things at the same time, which is not good. So we have the newer van here, which is the 2010. So we're going to select the 906. And then the way to actually remember that, the bigger number, 906 goes for the newer vehicles. That smaller number, 905.6, that goes for the older vehicles. So 906 is the one that we're going to select. We're going to hit OK. And that's really important because it's not going to diagnose it properly if you don't do that. So some of these Sprinters came with a gas engine, some came with diesel. So we're going to select the diesel engine because this is a diesel engine. So this is an automatic. Some in Europe came as a manual, but I'm going to select automatic, hit OK. And by the way, guys, for the main video, I'm not going to include all of these beginning steps. I'm just going to be scanning codes, deleting them and stuff. So I wanted to make a more thorough video. That way you could actually see how to use this unit, because it is popular amongst all the Sprinter owners. They use Icarsoft MB2s. There's a newer version of the MB2 available, which, by the way, if you don't have one yet, you need to pick it up. I'm going to have a link in the description below. I'm using a CR Plus because I deal with a lot of different type of cars, and this is the most useful one for me. So so here's we have all these programs that we could actually look into. So we have 6 selections. So this is a 6-cylinder Sprinter, so that's what we're going to do. We also can scan ESP, Electronic Stability Program, SRS, and we could scan the 4-cylinder diesel. This is not a 4-cylinder diesel, but if it would be, we could scan them. Electronic traction control, we could scan that as well. So we're going to go ahead and actually scan the 6-cylinder one. I'm going to hit OK. And I know for some of you guys, this might be like too much information, but if you're watching this video, probably not, because maybe you just got this unit, maybe you just got the Sprinter van, and you're looking how to scan. So I'm trying to be very thorough for everybody here. So once we hit the 6-cylinder diesel, we have control unit version. We could read fault memory, we could clear fault memory, we could do actual values. So for now, we need to read fault memory. I'm gonna click on that, hit OK. And look at that. So we have 11 codes. When I was actually scanning this generically, I had 20 codes, then I deleted them. We had 6 left over. So here we have interesting codes here. The lower limit value of component B2/14 hot film mass air flow sensor has been reached. So this is for the mass airflow sensor. One of the ways to keep the mass airflow sensor from actually causing some problems, you could just unplug it sometimes. Sometimes it works. Newer vehicles, maybe it doesn't. But that's one of the ways to try to do that. And we have mosquitoes here. So number 2, the lower limit value of component B2/14 hot film mass airflow sensor has been reached. Pretty much the same thing. And the output stage of the heater for low crankcase ventilation system has a short circuit to ground. All right, so this is basically a ventilation system. That is not good, because obviously this would cause some breathability issues, because it has to do like with basically ventilation and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and actually go to 4. So component solenoid valve exhaust gas recirculation cooling has short circuit to ground, or 906 component Y exhaust gas. All right, so this has to do with jar, but guess what, guys? We have a little hint. Okay, the hint is this. Let's go outside for that before we continue scanning this. The previous owner of this van, not the current owner, had basically put some of this here. This is some kind of stuff to keep the mice out of here. Okay, it was actually located right here, where this external, like, you know, battery connectors for the positive, and you could kind of see that this is the result of some kind of mice critter, you know, chewing this up, getting in here and just really chewing it up. Probably there was some kind of nest that was actually built here. There's a good chance that maybe even built it over here or somewhere on the top of the engine. So why are we getting so much of these short circuits? There's a good thing we got chewed up wires here somewhere. Because why would somebody have this mouse control situation? You know, there's a good chance that we have a wiring issue, because this is why we're having, let me actually close that out the door. This is why we're having a short circuit. So as I'm doing these observations, it's very important to notice this kind of stuff, because we may have a wiring issue. Because I'm reading, it says has short circuit, okay, to ground. So we either have a bad ground, or it may be just chewed up, so there is no ground. So if that's the case, then some of these systems are not going to be working correctly. And I'm sure this has happened before. So here we have number 5, diesel particulate filter, which has to do with the one down there. The soot content of the particulate filter is too high for regeneration. Okay, so that's what it says. We will see if we could actually force regenerate it. I do have the Star Diagnostic system. We could actually try to see if we could force regenerate it for that. The lower limit value of component B2/14 hot film air mass flow sensor dropped below, not reached. So it seems like it's a lot of the same in these codes. The signal voltage of component B2/14 hot film mass airflow sensor is too low. Component Y77-8 boost pressure regulator has short circuits to ground. Again, short circuit to ground that is not good. And this is for boost pressure regulator. So again, this man, it does seem like a lot to me like there's a wiring problem. Component M72-2 intake port shut-off actuator sticks. Intake port shut-off actuator sticks. Okay, so what this means is it's a swirl valves and they're sticking. It probably has so much wear on there and so much soot that it just basically sticks. Component B90-2 left EKAS and position measurement sensor is defective. So we either have a defective sensor, could be very likely, this is 500,000 miles after all, could be defective, could be also that, I guess, circuit problem, but most likely it's defective. Component B90-3 right EKAS and position measurement sensor is defective again. Component B90-2 left and position measurement sensor is defective. So it's letting me know it's defective. So it's obviously tested it and it is defective. So component M72- intake port shut-off valve has short circuits to ground circuit. Okay, this has to do with intake. This has to do with the port that shuts off with the actuator. And if it is a bad ground, then we're dealing with a circuit problem. So we have to find that. So what I want to do next is I'm going to take a picture of these codes because we're going to delete them afterwards. So what I want to do is take a note of the codes. If I could delete them. I don't know if the number 2 was taken. See if I could delete them. If I could delete them, see what comes back. So we're going to go ahead and actually hit escape. We're going to clear the memory. I want to see what comes back and what doesn't. It says clear trouble code successfully. I almost doubt that because I've been trying to clear them yesterday. Not all of them gets cleared. So we have 7 codes that still remain. It was 6 in a generic, but 7 over here. So what do we have? The output stage of heater for crankcase ventilation system has a short circuit to ground. Okay, so again, that same thing, short circuit to low. Okay. Okay, what is this? Component solenoid valve, exhaust gas or circulation coolant has short circuit to ground. All right. So guys, what is this telling me right here? We haven't driven anywhere. We deleted the codes, and yet the codes are coming back right away. All right. In a normal situation, when you delete the codes, they're gone until you actually take it for a test drive, and then they come back. So what this is telling me is there's a problem with the wiring harness. The client needs a wiring harness, and this is the first problem that I find because we are having a short circuit problem. And the reason that I come to this conclusion is we haven't taken it on the road or anything. We haven't even started it. So the van had all the codes deleted, and yet the computer obviously is engaged. Now we have the key to the second position, so it's able to read, you know, all the wires everywhere, every way they're going. Okay, so if it cannot read certain type of sensors, it realizes that the reason it cannot read them is because it's short circuit. So that is something that needs to be addressed. There's a good chance that maybe some of the wires could be fixed if you could see where they've been chewed up. And there is a chance that this wiring harness is just no good. You just need another one. So that is definitely something worth looking into. It is not something I expected, but it is definitely here. And I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of more pictures just in case anything has changed. And this is not something that's going away just by you deleting the codes. Even if I replace some stuff, obviously these codes will still remain because of the wiring harness. So that's just the problem that we're faced with. So for, you know, good old sake, so we're gonna go ahead and actually try to clear these codes 3 times. So it's a successful, but immediately when we read the codes, it's gonna say we got 7 codes. So we're gonna escape, clear, hit yes, cleared successfully, okay, and that is that. So for the 4th time I'm clearing them, and we're gonna go ahead and actually read the codes. We still got 7. Let's go ahead and actually start this thing up. All right, so the check engine light, it is off. That is something good to note. It is off. So let's see if we could actually clear the fault codes while it's running. And it's not successful. I doubt that. It's still gonna be, I'm still gonna be here. Still got the 7. I want to see, make sure, you know, no more than 7 comes up. So at this point, the computer knows there's 7 codes, my diagnostics tool. But right now, there's nothing on the display. And this is something you might be looking at your van. You don't have no codes, but yeah, you have a problem. And what is that problem? Well, in this case, we got some wiring problems. So let's see if we can actually rev this thing over 3000 RPMs. We certainly cannot. And I could actually hear the little like exhale. Look at that. Let's listen. We are not getting nothing at all. So it seems like the air just can't really get to where it's going. So yeah, we definitely have a bigger problem than I thought, even though we already have a big problem, because obviously the particulate filter, it is dirty and it does not want to regenerate. That is sounds like a big problem. It is an expensive problem, but the bigger problem would be is there's just so much work to do with the swirl valves to remove the intake and everything. That is a little bit of a bigger problem, but we're gonna try to tackle this thing slowly but surely. Inspect all the wiring. So there's gonna be probably chewed up wires somewhere in the system. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this vehicle off, call the client, and let them know what we're faced with. My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old, and yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have Sprinter Expediter business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos.